And we're off. Thanks for coming, guys. I am Quantum Eraser. I'm joined by Betty Van Velsen and our distinguished guest, Robert Bassano. Before we get there, I'd like to take care of some channel business. If you'd like to support this channel, there's a PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. I'd like to thank all the contributors to my recent GoFundMe who surpassed the goal in less than 3 days. They are Sam Hine, Michael Sokolsky, Felix Hung, Edward Ananian, David Andreessen, Dodie McManaman, Brian Lonergan, Jamel Hicks, and the distinguished Nathan Oakley. Thanks, guys. This stream is running smoother than a baby's butt. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Bassano has many faults, but lacking an eye for talent is most definitely not one. He gave me my first shot, and I'm indebted to you, sir. I introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend, a true pioneer of the flat earth, the one and only one, Robert Bassano.
Hey, what's up, guys? You know my motto. Not what you know, is what you can prove, right?
Yes, sir. It's been a long time since we heard that.
Yeah. Just glad to be back, too, man. I'm glad to be back. Had to take that long hiatus, man. I wasn't sure if I was ever going to come back. I figured that I put out everything that I wanted to put out. Could have put out more, but, you know, things had to take their course. And, you know, the absence does make the heart grow fonder, as they say. And my absence, you know, things kind of took a good turn, and people started doing their own research, you know, putting out new videos. A lot of new people came onto the scene, getting interested of, you know, what was being discussed and why and how. And you know, John and I, when we did these videos, man, it was basically we wanted the videos to just be a lifelong historical record and let it speak for itself, and then everyone could just decide for themselves, you know, if they wanted to accept what they were hearing and what they were reading and what they were researching, or they wanted to challenge it and come up with their own theory and idea of why things are the way they were. So I took that time away. Again, like I said, I wasn't sure I was ever going to come back, but I just wasn't into the whole social media thing and the infighting and the backstabbing and the name calling and the misinterpretations and some, you know, I'm not going to apologize for comments I made to some people and said about them, you know, either to somebody else and it was disclosed, or, hey, if they want me to, I'll say, yeah, I said it. I don't have a problem with that, but I never wished anybody any ill will. Wish everyone the best. And now that I'm back into this, I'm looking to, you know, do some new things that should open some more eyes, you know, on a different level with putting everything together we've been discussing and talking about. So, you know, it it's been interesting. I've been sitting back for about a year now. Like when I came back, I was on a German YouTube show. We did a little short talk about some stuff I put out, but I've just been watching and listening and commenting here and there, you know, and I hear some of the same arguments and some different people disputing what it is that they're hearing and what it is they're being told. And I just don't understand. I mean, John, really all they need to do is either go to your channel or go back to mine and hear what we said before. And, you know, there might be a variation of it, but it's still consistent with the analysis we actually conducted. And a lot of it hasn't been disputed. Like, for example, the Hubble. We still can't provide a picture of the damn thing. Real time. And not something that's photoshopped or, you know, some sort of historical archive of something in a black background. But they're trying to bring it back alive. And I had did a little search a couple of days ago before you decided you're going to do the show, and I started typing in, you know, certain type of keywords on the Hubble and its existence and what Hubble's doing now. there's a variation of, different words I could put in a search engine, and they have literally, Google and YouTube have scrubbed my information I put up about the Hubble not existing, or where is the Hubble now type of thing. It's out of the top 20. The only videos you see now are stuff from universities, people conducting interviews about the Hubble, repurposing of the Hubble, pictures that the Hubble took, so on and so forth. But you'd have to go deep into the top 100 searches to actually find any videos, or any videos of mine that were mirrored, actually talking about, this whole Hubble fiasco and cover up of, not being able to produce anything, even from the ISS, or even from, let's say Rocket Man. That little Elon Musk launched that little rocket. It was out there for a little while. It's got a camera on it. You couldn't catch anything at all. And we were just talking before the show, how, if ISS is supposed to be at 240 miles or so, Hubble's 100 or so miles above that. If ISS is moving maybe 2 or 3 times faster because of it being in low Earth orbit, and Hubble's maybe in some sort of Lagrange area moving a little bit slower because it's a further distance, that means that maybe there's about 2 or 3 different orbits that ISS could conduct where it would actually intersect, and you could be able to peer out the window and actually see this bad boy with a 500 millimeter or 600 millimeter super telephoto lens. If they are so hell bent on keeping this thing alive, then okay, put your money where your mouth is. $1.2 billion or more. Show me where the fuck my goddamn tax dollars has been going to something that you fucked up when you first designed it, and then I find out it's on a goddamn 747. And then I
How
just
did you
found
find
out
that
yes.
out, Robert? How did you find
No,
that out?
I'm a technical analyst
Okay.
by trade and profession, and I've always been engaged in technology, reverse engineering things, man. I mean, my first reverse engineering project was probably when I was 12 years old. Remember those old Apple computers, little keyboards, mechanical keyboards? There was one in the trash. I came from school. I took the bad boy out of the trash, took it home, cleaned it up, took it apart because I wanted to see how it worked. That was my first experience. Just loved taking things apart, putting them back together. And when I was in the military, I was really into everything technical. I wanted to learn how to break down weapons, put them back together, even though that wasn't my job, it wasn't my responsibility. I could break down a 50 cal and put it at mod deuce, the large 50 cal, not the 50 cal sniper rifle, but the regular squad, heavy weapons, 50 caliber. I learned how to break that bad boy down and put it back together in less than 3 minutes. 3 minutes. So when I started researching the Hubble, I was really interested in the technical specs because I was studying optical science. I just wanted to know how, I was fascinated with light reflection, refraction. So it took me into that realm, and I wanted to see what type of cameras and mirrors were on Hubble. So I downloaded some information from NASA's website and started looking at the technical data. And I'm like, okay, and then lo and behold, as I was continuing to do the search, here it is. The word Sophia popped up. So I decided to click on the link, and I look at this thing and I'm like, whoa, that's a 747. And they said it's a telescope on the back of it. So what hit me, because I'm so focused on like numbers, I can spot numbers, is I saw the cost of this thing, 1.5 billion. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Didn't the Hubble cost 1.5 billion? So then it got me to look into the technical specs of Sophia.
The costs of the plane and the Hubble were the same?
Were the same, identical. I don't know if that's just a standard damn markup by the U.S. government or whoever, but come on, 1.5. So I said, wait a minute. I don't believe in coincidences. Let me look at this thing. So I looked at this. I looked at Sophia, found all the data I could possibly find. Most of it was off in Germany. I found the rest of it with NASA, and I literally printed out the specs for Hubble, printed out the specs for Sophia, put them side by side, and I had to look at them from like 2 feet away. And I'm like, no. And I was in denial. I said, no, it's not possible. It's not possible. This is the same goddamn telescope. How they have something flying at 45,000 feet and something that's 341 miles in space doing the same thing.
Had you talked to the man with the on the Hubble?
And that's what got me to make the telephone call the Hubble. Because I had immediately decided the Hubble can't exist. Something the size of a school bus put onto the space shuttle. And by the way, they said they had to do some things to the inside cargo area of the shuttle to make room for the Hubble. The Hubble, someone created a graphic online to show the Hubble being inserted inside the shuttle, and it barely fit. Matter of fact, it shouldn't have fit at all. At all. So I'm like, there's no way. And then I heard the video from Don Pettit talking about the tyranny of a rocket equation, that the more weight and mass you have, the more fuel you need. So that means as big as the Hubble was, as heavy as it was, there's no way they could have sent up. I mean, I think they sent up, what, like 4, 5, 6, 7 astronauts with this thing the same day they launched? No, hell no. No. That means the whole rocket, they used a different type of fuel to get this thing off the ground into orbit. So that's what got me to make the telephone call. And I did it live. I was like, I don't give a shit. Fuck it. You know, this may not be right for me to do this, but I need to know for my first. I did the call for myself. I was going to do it for myself. I wasn't going to put it on YouTube. Matter of fact, I didn't do it YouTube live. I recorded it for myself, and it was a live call. So because I wanted to have a record of what the guy told me. So I wasn't sure if he was going to prove me wrong or I was going to prove myself right. I was not. It was a chance I took. It was a chance I took. You know, I didn't even think the call was going to go that long. But I lost track of time as we kept talking. We could have kept going. But the things that he was telling me and the things that I was sharing to him, I had all the specs right there in front of me. You know, and here it is.
How did you know who to call then? How did you know?
I didn't know. I mean, I knew that there was a Hubble team. I knew there was a Hubble Space It was an HST team, right? So I found their information on NASA's website. That's the glory, and that is the joy of being in a so-called free society, because all our information was open source, transparency, right? NASA has to operate on transparency. So we got to know who runs this program. They got to put their information out there for Q&A, because the taxpayers paid for that shit. So I started with the head guy. His name was listed on NASA's website, and literally I started dialing using Skype. See who was going to pick up the phone. And you know, everyone does it, even the media. They come up with cover stories and cover names to give people, you know, to get information, to social engineer them. So yes, the guy was social engineered, and shit, Q&A, and I enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. You know, if he's listening, you know, the only thing I apologize for is if it would have cost you some embarrassment or cost you your job. But hey, $1.5 billion I pay my taxes. You're not going to lie to me. And this guy didn't lie to me. And he didn't make any vague and ambiguous statements either. He was very direct. All you got to do is go back to the call and listen to it for yourself. I mean, I said things that were so far out at the time and so crazy and lunacy. It was sheer lunacy what I did, that someone in that position should have just said, you know what? I don't know who you are, but this call's over, and just hang up the phone. He doesn't have no obligation to me. You understand? But the guy's still on the phone for 50 minutes. And I wasn't disrespectful to him. I was just, you know, just throwing it out there. You know, we talked about the Hubble Space Telescope. He said he'd never seen it. You know, he might have seen it being built. But then after that, he never got loaded into the cargo bay. He saw the launch on that day, but he didn't see anything go in there, and it could attest that for a fact that he saw it get put in there. He saw it get pushed out onto the launch pad and then go up into space with 7 people aboard.
What struck me was that the guy said that there were no thrusters on the Hubble and no
He said
cameras.
there's no way to maneuver and position the Hubble at all. You couldn't do it remotely from Earth at all, not even with any other type of ground telemetry or communicating with another satellite at all. You just couldn't do it. He says all it had was a gyroscope system. Okay, a gyroscope system. Now think about this, people. And John told me to save this for the talk. Imagine you got on a gyroscopic suit, right? This gyroscopic suit is designed for you specifically because you're blind, deaf, dumb, you can't sense anything. So the only way you can stay upright and walk is that you got this suit on, and the suit is spinning these gyros in a specific direction, counter direction, to keep you balanced, right? In one position. Now, remember, you don't know where you are, but this suit is determining your orientation. They're saying this type of system is on the Hubble. You're talking about the vastness of space, right? 340 miles, 41 miles plus. They don't know if Hubble is upside down, sideways, crooked. They don't have no, they can't, they said they don't have no way of knowing what the hell's going on this thing. But supposedly they got all these cameras out on the ISS. They got all these satellites. They claim that are above the Hubble, below the Hubble, further distant from the Hubble, but not one of them. You would think NASA, who would get a lot of their money from the U.S. military and the DoD likes to keep track of shit that's $1.5 billion. Okay, you're gonna tell me that they don't have any eyes on this thing to see what's going on with it?
Yeah.
They don't know if maybe some alien is sitting on this thing, kind of riding like a crotch rocket or some shit. Come on. The thing could be smeared in dog shit for all they know. They don't know.
Yeah. How would you know where it is at all if you don't know?
And that's they say that they can track it, but we can go online right now. We can all go online and you can go track the ISS. It'll take you to this website where it shows you where the ISS going, where it's traveling to. And then they have a little icon for the Hubble Space Telescope as well. And they'll swear, yeah, this is it. We've seen it. Really, you've seen it? And if you saw it, why the fuck you got a 500, 600 millimeter super telephoto lens? Why didn't you shoot a picture of it? Oh, things just go by so fast. Yeah, I wish my fucking bowel movements were the same way. Because things are going by so damn fast. You're telling me this thing is moving way faster than you, or you moving way faster than it?
Or it should have fallen down.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not an orbital mechanics scientist, okay? But John ran the numbers on this. And based on the amount of time it's been up there, it's decaying. This orbit's been decaying every orbit. All right? Every orbit. Now, we already concluded, we found out from just looking at NASA's website with the ISS that the ISS can lose almost 1.5 to 2 miles in altitude. And then it has to be thrust back up because it drops down and it comes back up. Drops down, comes back up. Drops down, comes back up. But it has those thrusters on it to push it back up into position.
Yeah.
The Hubble
Even
doesn't
if you
have
believe that can be done.
Exactly. The Hubble doesn't have that at all. At all. So that means that if the Hubble's been up there for as long as it has, I told the guy, it should either be at the same altitude as ISS right now or below it or in the ocean.
Nah, you took it easy on him. You took it easy on him, Robert.
Yeah, you're right. I did, but I didn't want to. But see, if I had told him it's probably in the ocean, he's like, you know what? I'm ending this call. And you and I both know what happened when you got on a call and I asked you.
Oh, don't bring that up yet. We'll get to that.
Yeah. I had to bring that one up. I got to get you on that one.
Yeah. But just hold on.
I conducted another call with another NASA official. It was actually the guys from
Soho.
What's that? Soho, the Soho solar satellite mission. And here it is. I called. This is the second time I called this guy. The second time, and I said, yeah, you remember me? He goes, yeah, Robert, how you doing? I said, yeah, what do you want to talk about? I was like, listen, I want to talk to you about some things regarding Soho. Reconfirm some things, and we started to get into talking. And I told John, don't say nothing. Whatever you do, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And lo and behold, the guy says something John don't like. So John says, you know what? I'm sorry, but I got to chime in here. And the guy says, are you recording this call? What are you doing? And he hung up the phone. And I'm like, God damn it, John.
I never heard the end of that.
Huh?
I never heard. Yeah, never heard the end of that. Listen, I just couldn't take it anymore.
That was actually going to be probably the second best call we would have done, because I was going to bring you in. I was going to pretend like I was going to, hey, let me call my associate. He knows a lot more about this. We can all talk together. But you just came in at the wrong moment. But that's the end of that, because after that, when we did another YouTube show and I called up NASA to speak about the ISS, NASA was watching.
Yep.
The fucking YouTube show. And they said, are you recording this live right now? And we're like, oh, shit. They know. They're watching the show. And bam, they hung up the telephone. That was the end of that conversation. But after that,
and
that's
all others after.
Yeah. After that, I was like, yeah, they're on to me on this one. I'm going to have to lay low for a while. I'm probably going to have to stop what I'm doing, because they're not fucking happy with this. They're getting smeared like crazy. But
do you think that it will help if you call again? Do you think that they are on to you already, or
no.
Changed?
I've got to do this whole interview thing the official way. So,
okay.
I got to make official requests to speak with them and have it on record, just like they do with journalists and, media people. Just have it on record and stuff like that. And instead of surprising them like that, because they probably had to generate some sort of new training course at NASA, specifically saying, okay, you got to go through this punked training session. Well, why do they call it punk? Well, because a few of our people have been punked by this guy by the name of Robert Bassano, and you got to be aware this guy's really, he knows what he's talking about. He gets all the information, and all I did, I just take their information and put it right back on. All I do, like they put the information out, I read it, I analyze it, I develop some questions, and then I want to know, okay, why? I did this since I was a kid. I want to know why. I want to know why.
How did you come into this flat Earth scene to begin with, Robert? I mean, do you call yourself a flat earther, or is it?
Well,
something else?
I think the term, and I've learned to understand the term in itself as a misnomer. Okay, the reason why I say it's a misnomer is this: to say the Earth is flat, you can say it two different ways. Okay, I could tell you, yes, I'm a flat earther. You're going to interpret that. Someone coming into this is going to interpret that I say that the whole damn world we live in is flat. I would disagree with that, because the ground we walk on is relatively flat with declinations, inclinations, valleys, hills, mountains, you name it, right? But there's places you can walk on this planet that are completely level. All right. Water always finds its level. It's level. Now, if you lived on a marble or a basketball, and you took some clay and you created these hills and valleys and mountains, right? And you shaped it around this basketball, and you put some water. You put the basketball upright so that this little crater you created, filled it with water. As that ball starts to spin, what do you think is going to happen to that water?
Yeah, it won't stick.
Now, people say that that's because of gravity. Well, that's bullshit, because nobody knows what gravity is. Nothing is happening at 9.8 meters per second. Nothing.
Yeah, the baller's imagination.
Nothing, because if I'm not, think about what 9.8 meters equivalates to in feet. Just do that on your own, and then grab a glass and hold it 3 feet off the ground, Now, actually, grab a glass and hold it 24 inches off the ground and let it go. And tell me if you can use the gravity equation, 9.8 meters per second, to tell me that something happened in that 1 second. You dropped it fucking 24 inches. It just doesn't make any common damn sense at all. I challenged that when I took collegiate physics. I challenged it. And the answer I gave on an examination, the professor said it was wrong. And I said to him, I had to rebut it and challenge his grade. And I said, what do you think is actually happening at 9.8 meters per second? He goes, well, that's the theory. I said, exactly, professor. It's a theory. So you're disagreeing with my counter theory that nothing is happening, but you can't prove that there is something. Well, are you denying that things fall? No, I'm not denying things fall. There is something there that is allowing things to move in a particular direction at a particular speed and acceleration and velocity. But we're still trying to understand this idea we came up with regard to gravity. And he says, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you the credit for that answer. And he did that. And that's what we all have to do. And that's why I decided to use that model. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. If I can't prove it and you can't prove it, then we can agree to disagree. But if I can show you more that may disprove what you do believe, you don't have to believe what it is I believe. But if I've shown you more that what I'm saying to you seems more logical, then you can either accept it or reject that. And if you continue to reject it and can't come up with a new solution, then you don't know anything.
Yeah, but
you don't want to know.
Yeah, but we already dealt with gravity for the past couple of years, Robert. We've taken that to the woodshed. So whether it be Einsteinian or Newtonian, it's old news. It's been embarrassed. So that part's over.
Yeah. Let me shout out some super chats that we got, John. So we got a super chat from Way BMX for. And we got he said some hands. I think it's waving, I think. And we have a super chat from Cleary, and he says, how does a satellite know its altitude without atmospheric pressure?
Yeah,
and
then that's a good damn question. That's a damn good question. How does a satellite know its altitude without any pressure if it's supposed to be in space? You want it, and here goes a simple answer, because it's not.
Yeah, they're on. Where are they at, Robert?
How many balloon series did we do, John?
Yes, sir.
Think about how. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the first one who said that all satellites were on balloons. I'm not saying I'm the first one, but I did try to conduct a search online to look for the earliest video that someone did on YouTube or somewhere on the internet before YouTube existed, saying that satellites were on balloons. And I maybe found one or two. They weren't well known at all. But I like to give credit where credit's due. I was pushing it. I was one of the first ones to push it consistently. People thought I was crazy. People were like, this guy don't know what he's talking about. Blah blah blah. What is he? And then when I came out with that link from Google Loom, where they actually showed a video illustration of how they maneuver satellites they put up there on balloons, how they move them from one layer of atmosphere to another, and how they vary in speeds. I'm like, holy shit. And then I saw that NASA had a program called the Wallop program. It was an entire balloon program. They got different colors. They got translucent, high altitude balloons, atmospheric balloons. They got black balloons for the nighttime, so that you see some floating around flying in the sky at high altitude and you say, oh, that's a satellite. Well, really, you can't see the tethers hanging for it, and you can't see the black balloon either because it's damn dark as night. So I mean, we kept pushing and pushing and pushing that, and then I think it was that one video I did where I actually read that Air Force report. Remember, where the Air Force officer talked about him being on these missions, capturing these fucking satellites from the balloons in midair, out in the middle of the Pacific and Atlantic. And he said they landed somewhere at some base, and some guy wanted to come on board to do a manifest check and a mission check. And he says, if you come on board here, you're gonna be shot. I mean, it was that top secret operation that was being conducted by the U.S. I don't know if other governments were actually doing this, but when I showed the video footage, it was from Google Earth, where I showed the overhead footage of McMurdo Station and what looked like a circular landing area, and they showed all these airplanes and shit parked there, twin engine, turboprop, skyhook, tailhook planes parked in Antarctica. And lo and behold, here goes several Antarctica videos from the National Science Foundation showing them launching balloons the size of what? Buses. We all saw it. And I kept pushing and pushing and pushing that. And then people started coming out saying, hey, yeah, a satellite just crashed, in Venezuela in the jungle. No one saw anything fire coming out of the sky, but there was a balloon attached to it. Then it kept going and going and going. It was great. It was great to see that. And I'm glad people
more of these things.
Yeah, I'm glad people caught on to it. I'm really glad people caught on to it. But I wasn't looking to be, the fan favorite or the focus of attention. When I started putting this stuff out there, I thought it was interesting because I had learned a lot of this stuff and heard about a lot of this stuff in the military. If you look back to the days before, airplanes were invented, they were using balloons in war. They were using balloons. So why not stick with what you already know? Think about that. Why not just stick with what you already know? Because you can control the altitude, you can control how fast it moves, you can control where it goes, roughly. But if that get a rip or a tear in that bad boy, it's coming down. Coming down.
I think
look how
Robert.
How Baumgartner, got up to where he got up. He got up to a max of 128,000 feet. How did they know that it was possible for him to get to that altitude? Why wouldn't he go any higher? Think about that. If he really did that jump, hey, make sure your record can't be fucking broken. Fuck 128,000. Shit, let's go to the Kármán line, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Robert.
Let's go to the Kármán line.
Hey, Robert. Hey, I think
28,000 fucking feet, baby. That's the edge of space. When people say they go to the edge of space, think about what they define the edge of space. The edge of space to me, if the Kármán line is 328,000 feet, the DOD considers it, I think, what is it? It's like 180,000 feet or something like that, John? It's less than that. It's actually lower. It's 80 kilometers for the DOD. It's 100 kilometers for the rest of the world. So
yeah, but what
people
is
say they
it?
fly the edge of space. I'm sorry. 80,000, 100,000 feet is not the edge. You still got 100 fucking thousand miles to go. That's fucking 2 times around the goddamn planet. That's 4 times around the planet. You ain't at the edge.
Back to the balloons. Hey, Robert, hold on a second. Back to the balloons. I think the part that broke the camel's back was when you showed that list from the Estranged Space Center.
Oh, yeah. They took that down.
I got it.
I mean, I still have the list as well. But when I went to the Swedish Space Center's website, I still have the list. It's on my box files. They had the entire list of balloon launches from 1982 to the present date. And you ready for this? I went through that video, and I posted it up. I don't know if they took it down or something, but I still have the list itself from the Israel Space Center. And they named they named the satellites, okay, that were launched. They have Zarya, they have Inmarsat, they had DirecTV, they had the first module of the ISS, the Mir module. They had that listed. They had everything. Like John, I'm not joking. I know John's laughing, but he knows that I'm not joking about this shit. They listen. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked at what I was reading. I like to do it live because I wanted people to see the excitement behind what we were discovering together. It wasn't me, cherry picking the information. If I found something that was contradicting what we were saying, hey, I wasn't afraid to admit it. Some dude called Lottie says Robert Bassano has the IQ of a puddle. Yeah, okay. Mm. Yeah, whatever.
Just a chat troll. Don't pay any attention to him, Robert.
Yeah. No, I know. He ain't got nothing better to do. But when I started going through the list, and then we started going through comparative lists that they said they were doing rocket launches, like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. this is not possible. And then when I found the mirror module that they talked about in the Zoraya module, it is the same modules that are connect the ISS together. So how the hell would you launch something with the same damn name and nomenclature on a balloon, but you say you put it on a rocket? Come on, man. Really?
Hmm.
I mean, that's not a coincidence. It's just that people say it's a coincidence, but they couldn't. But after I did that video, I think a couple of months went by and they took it down. They actually changed the whole entire website for the Swedish Space Center. They took that document offline. People would email me saying, "Hey, I can't find the document. I went to the website. It's not working anymore. You can't find the doc." So that's why I downloaded and put it on my box file, because you can't deny that documentation, baby. That's how you go back to it.
Yeah, that's where I got it from.
I'll do another video and I'll post it again.
Yeah.
They keep taking the video down all they want. I still have the
They
document.
deleted your video of the Sophia.
Sophia's
too,
gone.
Yeah, that guy was just pissed off with that, because I guess I think what could have happened is that he probably got a call from NASA, from Hubble, saying, "Yeah, we just got punked." He goes, "Oh, really? Let me hear what happened." "Oh, here it is on YouTube." "Oh man, I just talked to that guy on the telephone about Sophia. Man, he really screwed us up," and they took down my conversation with him. Now, why would they take down my conversation with him? Because he actually was explaining the difference between Sophia and Hubble. That one was infrared and the other one was, whatever. I don't even remember. I don't even care anymore. But he was trying to explain.
A lot of people were watching these videos of yours, Robert. I think that's the reason why they took it down.
For them
maybe.
to take it down, for them to say that I violated YouTube's privacy agreement, is bullshit. Because if you take that one down, you should have took down Hubble.
Yeah.
And what happened is that with me talking to both those guys, and one of them actually explaining the difference between one and the other, they couldn't get ahead of it. It's something that just went completely out of control. Because then after that, everybody was talking about, this is the real Hubble, Sophia, 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 Sophia. And I made a parody of it, because I actually posted the actual video of another plane, a NASA plane, flying next to Sophia. And in the background, I used Frank Sinatra's "Come Fly With Me, Come Fly and Fly Away."
Yeah, that's correct.
Like that song.
It was so fucking funny, that it just made fun of them. And they took that video down too. They gave me a copyright strike. They gave me a copyright strike because of Frank Sinatra shit. Because, I make money from it. So I clicked the option saying, no, I'm not trying to make no money from it. And then, then they, like you guys have said, just a couple, less than 6 months ago, they took down that video with Sophia and that other video, "Come Fly With Me," because it made perfect sense. It made perfect sense.
Luckily that you have some people that mirrored that video, so it's still, you can still find it.
I also want to set the record clear too. I don't know who Flat Earth Reflections is. That's not me. Never was me. There's two guys out there who got channels, who mirrored pretty much everything that I did after I had dropped off the scene. And some people thought it was me going on a different name because my other channel was blocked. My other channel wasn't blocked, obviously, because you can still see the videos. But they have been denying me access to the account. So I can't even get into the main account anymore, Planete Veritas. That's why I had to create Planete Veritas 4.0. You can still see all my videos. But and I'm glad, the stuff has been mirrored, and I'm grateful for that. But from what I understand, they don't want to give me back access to the account because I probably got a crap load of email still on there. My email account still works, but every time I go through the process of getting back access to the account and go through all the authentications, have it sent to a new email address, prove who I am, they still come back with an automatic response saying, "Sorry, we can't authenticate you." And then they say, "Well, you need to use the original device that you used for us to send a text message to access your account." Well, you ready for this? I lost that original device. And they probably know that shit too. So I'm screwed. So I don't know any other way I can get it, but it's no big deal. It's out there. The channel's still out there. There's nobody putting up new stuff. So I know it's not. It hasn't been hijacked from anybody. It's just YouTube, just basically controlling the message, controlling, the information, and they've done a damn good job with scrubbing most of the stuff that I put out there that literally went viral. And
What are you
it's
going to
not.
do for the
It
future,
used to be in
Robert?
the top. It used to be in the top 20 in the search when you go on Google. Now it's
Well,
buried.
you still have 11,000 subscribers, I think,
Yeah,
on
I
the
think it's
channel.
more than that. I think it's way more than that. I think it's way more than that. They just
Hmm.
froze it at that. They froze it because I
Okay.
mean, it just no. There's way more than 11,000.
Okay.
They can
What are you going
manipulate
to
the
do for
number.
the future then? Are
For
you
the
going to
future,
go with a new one?
I'm working on a private expedition and talking to a couple of videographers who know how to shoot professional, adventure type of footage, with a GoPro or something like that, or drones. And I'm gonna be taking a trip, 2-week trip, to some places I got a bucket list for, and one of them uh, is going to be in Chile, and the others are going to be further south. Well, I'm not going to say how far south, but I found a few companies that offer expensive adventure type of packages to go down there, and you can skydive, you can scuba dive, you can trek across barren areas, and it's expensive, but it's going to be worth it because I'm going to do it for 2 weeks. Got the family's permission to do it, and I'll be safe. I'll be with probably another group of people who are paying for it, a team of people. So I ain't got to worry about my safety and security or anything like that. And I'm going to shoot things live. If I like skydiving, so I'll probably do a live YouTube show of me
Wow.
strapping up, gearing up, getting on the plane.
Is that possible? Do they have
Then as soon as
some?
that door opens and we got to jump, you're gonna see me jump live and land right on the ground that everyone's been talking about.
Is
And
that possible?
yeah, it is.
Do
It
they
is.
have,
It does. I've
have
got all the information.
reach? Okay.
Yeah. So I want to do that and kind of settle things once and for all. Either it's an ice wall or it's one big damn island, twice the size of Australia.
Yeah.
We're gonna know, and I'm gonna settle it once and for all. And either
Are you going to be there at night too, or when
yeah,
it's?
I'm trying to find out if you can do. I don't think you can do something at night because that's pretty dangerous because you don't have any ground visual confirmation. It's like jumping into the black of the ocean in the middle of the night. You're going to hit the water. In this particular case, in the daytime you got snow reflecting back up into the air, but at nighttime you ain't got nothing. You just see nothing but darkness.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to think about the stars, for example.
well,
Will
yeah,
we be able to see them?
I think I'm considering setting up a few 360 uh, Garmin cameras. They make these Garmin cameras. They're like you can shoot 360. Put them on tripods. I'm thinking about setting up a bunch of those and just sticking them into the ice, into the snow, and let them stay there 360. Get them wired up with Wi-Fi. Have them stream back to my channel, so the people could get. I want them to get a 72-hour viewing capability. So after that, whatever happens 72 hours after that, if there's a snowstorm, whatever have you, those things are lost, they're gone. But at least we got,
Hopefully not.
because I'm not gonna stay on the ground for 72 hours. That's the hell no, no way, no way,
Oh, come on.
no, 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 no. Anything can happen. I could be drug off into the darker night underground somewhere. I don't know. But I definitely want to do that. Definitely want to do the scuba diving, the trekking. I'm not really sure because they say, and I read the NASA documents, they said that there's areas in Antarctica that are more harsh on the body than being in space. Yeah. And when I read and it was part of NASA's human testing program. Concordia Station. They said the conditions there. You're in a hypoxic environment. Your body's under the same stress, you would be if you were on ISS, or in space. I'm like, whoa, there's actually somewhere on the ground more stressful than being out in space. And I started reading up on what they do out in Concordia and all the testing and research they do out there. And there's certain places you go where you will not have an idea of how high you're in elevation or how low you're in elevation or barometric pressure drop. You feel winded, you feel short of breath, and you're not sure what it could be. And if you're out in the middle of somewhere where the closest help is a flight away, you're gonna die. You got some serious shape to go down there to do that, or be seriously acclimated, to do that. Yeah, Nathan was saying that Robert Shortman used to walk around in a t-shirt when he was in Antarctic. Yeah, I mean, there's environments like that where, yeah, you can walk around in a t-shirt, you can, be comfortable. But I think deep within, where the Edmonton Scott Station is, where they claim they got cameras out there, but you can never see it. They don't never have a clear day. Every time you turn the damn cameras on, just go to the National Science Foundation, Edmonton Scott Station, and look at the camera. It's like it's a snow blizzard down there every time. I mean, I've gone there to that website and those cameras 2 weeks straight every day, and I never saw a clear day. So where are they taking those pictures from? When you see they take pictures down there and it's a clear blue sky day, They if the cameras are looking like that, where the hell are they?
Yeah.
So, I just want to put a lot of this stuff to rest. But again,
when is this going to happen, Robert? When are you going to do this?
This not till next year. I can't make this year's trip. It's not going to be till next year. So it'd be the beginning part of next year.
So what season will it be in Antarctica then?
It'll be. I'm trying to get down there around the springtime, not the winter.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down there around springtime. There's 2 trips going down there, so. But to stick with the main topic you asked me, how I became a flat earther. I believe the ground we walk on is relatively flat, but we've got several different layers of atmosphere, and I put it in one of my videos on my channel that after listening to what everyone was saying about the Earth's flat, the Earth's flat, the Earth's flat, the Earth's flat, I started realizing, wait a minute, that's too general of a statement, a claim to make. The whole Earth is not fucking flat. We live on a relatively flat surface with hills and valleys and mountains. Water always finds its level, which gives us the perspective that, some of the terrain you walk on is relatively flat. But our upper layers of atmosphere are constant, dynamic, changing, equipotential, expanding ellipsoid. Neil deGrasse Tyson said that. He changed his comments several times, saying that Earth's more like an egg or a pear. The guy couldn't make up his fucking mind, and he's an embarrassment because, I was brought up in New York, and he went to the Bronx High School of Science. And I was disappointed that I didn't get to go to that school. But I'm not disappointed after he fucking said that stupid shit. Oh, it's a pear. Oh, it's an egg. Well, maybe it's the fucking turd that just came out of your ass. And he wasn't looking at the data I was looking at, because DARPA, NASA, U.S. Air Force, the Navy, the Army, they all said the same thing. The Earth, if you look at the logos for the DOD, for DARPA, and you see the planet in the background, where it's shaped like an ellipsoid and an expanding like an egg. That right there, that's an admission right there. That's what the Earth is shaped like. But the pictures that they show us, they claim are from space, of it looking like a perfectly round marble. I'm sorry, but if these guys are on the President's Council for Science and Physics, or saying it's an equipotential ellipsoid, why the hell are you showing us pictures of a marble? Why can't we see an expanding egg? Because the only way you can explain that the Earth is spinning at the speeds it's spinning at is that when something spins at those particular speeds they claim, it will expand. And it will keep expanding because either it's going faster or it's sped up at some time in the future. Sometime in the past. That the Earth's rotation actually sped up. But the ground we walk on is not moving at all. It's fixed and stationary. How do I know that? Because remember, John, the call we had? What did the guy say when we asked him about the flat Earth equation? Why they're using that? He says, because we need a fixed frame of reference. He said it himself. I didn't say it. He said it. He says we need a fixed frame of reference. Guess what the fixed frame of reference is? The earth and ground you walk on. It is not moving. It's the upper layers of atmosphere that are moving. And Google's Loon program proves that. You have several different layers above us. You got the troposphere where we're at. You've got the stratosphere, the mesosphere. Then there's supposed to be the thermosphere. And then you've got the heliosphere. I don't even believe all that other crap beyond that. I think that there's really this really hot thermal area at high altitudes. When you see things, they say that asteroids are come burning in, where they're entering that hot layer. And then all of a sudden, they just cool the fuck off once they get out of that layer. They're not burning anymore. You don't see no more fire. You just see nothing but black smoke, like someone just put out a fire. Okay, because they went through all those other different layers. So they're going through that thermal layer. And beyond that, that's where the claim they're making that the sun, which they claim is a giant fireball generating millions, tens of millions of degrees of heat temperature, is pushing all of that heat towards us. That's why it's so hot. That's bullshit. They claim that the center core of the earth is hotter than the surface of the sun. So how the hell could the sun, which is 350,000 times larger than us?
Yeah. Wasn't that, John, when you stepped in when that was discussed on Robert's channel?
No. I think it was. I typed the comment. But you asked that. All of you have to ask yourselves this: if the center core of our Earth is generating more heat temperature than the surface of the sun, then explain to yourselves how something 350,000 times larger than us, okay, and that heat radiating from our ground and then going up in the upper atmosphere interacts with this other hot temperature. Tell me how 10 million degrees can be cooled down to 240 degrees at low Earth orbit. It's not possible. It's not possible. The heat from our Earth, the heat that we get doesn't come from the sun. This is my belief. You don't have to believe it. It doesn't come from our sun. What's happening, I'm of the belief and understanding, just what I had wrote down, what I researched, is that the sun has to be a giant ice ball pushing its cryogenic plasmic gases and air towards the earth, and all of that hot thermal air that came from the center of the earth and rose, heat rises. Remember that. Heat rises. Came from the center core, which is hotter than the surface of the sun, gets trapped up in the thermosphere. And then when the sun in the wintertime, and I said this to Betty the other day, think about this. They said that in the wintertime, wherever you're at on this planet, the sun is closer to the earth in the winter. So that means that supports the hypothesis that the sun could be a cryo ball.
Hold on right there. I'll tell you what. I don't know if that's true, but I'll tell you what it's not. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a whirling ball of gas in a vacuum. I know that for a fact.
No. I'm not even going in that direction. What I'm saying is this: is that if the sun is closer in the wintertime, that means that if it's 350,000 times bigger than us and it's closer, it should be hot as fuck. There should be no ice, no snow on the fucking ground. Okay? How I'm using that to support my hypothesis that the sun's an ice ball is because if it's closer, like they say in the wintertime, that means that cryogenic air and plasma is pushing all of that hot thermal air down into the ground, into the permafrost, forcing the ground to freeze. That's why the top layer of the ground freezes the fuck over. Because you have the sun, the ice ball sun, pushing its cold air down onto the earth. And then you got to explain this. This is what I want someone to really explain to me. if there are all these giant fucking fireballs out there in space, millions of them, billions of fireballs, suns, every fucking where, right? Then ask yourself this: how the fuck is it possible when an astronaut steps outside of the space station, and if he would expose himself to the atmosphere of space, he'd freeze the fuck over? How is that possible? How is it possible? All these suns out there, it's just not just a hot fucking oven in space. Why are these guys not
prove
turning
that
up?
there are suns, Robert. I mean,
Yeah,
how can we know?
Every movie you watch, these guys get exposed to the remnants of space and they freeze over like a fucking block of ice, right? They don't burn up.
But those are movies, right?
And John and I know something a lot about Gore-Tex because the military was the first ones to use fucking Gore-Tex. John, you remember, what happens when you fucking expose Gore-Tex to fucking fire, the heat? That fucker starts to melt. That fucker starts to melt. You're telling me that these suits, they're so advanced, technically advanced, so technically designed to withstand where you don't see any burn marks on these white textured spacesuits at all when these guys do a spacewalk. They're being exposed to the nighttime and the sunlight every fucking orbit, and they don't have a single burn on any of these spacesuits. So you ask yourself, is the sun really a fireball? Absolutely not.
We first have to prove, Robert, that they're there, right? Are they in the vacuum of space at all?
And that's the whole point. Everybody's saying there's no way that people are going out in space. They don't even know. Look, I asked this question of 4 physicists in Europe when I was in Europe. And you ready for this? To this very day, they can't answer this question. One guy even stood up and said to me, that is the most intelligent question that I have ever been asked in my entire life. And to be honest, I don't think it can be answered. And here's the question. Describe what space is without telling me where it is. And all 4 of them just looked at me. And they looked at each other and didn't say another fucking word. Didn't say another word. Then God says, that is the most intelligent question I've ever heard. What is space without telling me where it is? Because we don't know where it starts and we don't know where it finishes. We don't even know if that's even a concept we should even be accepting.
Yeah. Well, do we accept that all these stars are suns, for example?
Hey guys, hold on a minute. Hey, listen, we're coming up. We're going past an hour. I don't want to go too far past that. But I did want to bring up something before we go. And I know everyone has their favorite Robert Bassano video. And I have mine. So I want you guys to take a look at this. Now, it's not so much for the substance. The substance is great. But it's Robert's reaction is the thing that really sets this off. So, Robert, I hope you got your watch page up. I'm gonna go ahead and run this. I know you'll remember it. So let me know when you have it up.
Okay, I see it.
You see it? All right, I'm gonna run this for a couple minutes, and you can comment on it after it.
Okay.
But NASA says the mission was canceled. The spacewalk mission was canceled. Here you have these 2 fucking yahoos outside of the space shuttle, fucking with the Hubble telescope. Incredible, people. Fucking incredible. Absolutely. Wait a minute. We need to go back. Did I just see what I thought I saw? Did the fucking Earth stop moving? Did I see what I saw? Wait. Hold on for a second. This is what I want you people to pay attention to. I'm going to play this again. And I want you to take quick notes. Let's try this shit one more time. I want you to look at this video. And I want you to tell me what you see. The Earth's supposed to be moving. Oh, did you fucking see that? Let's do that again. Let's go back again. Here we go. The Earth's not moving. Ooh, you're free. Fly and be free. Holy shit. Let's do that again. So you saw it. The Earth's not moving. Boom. Start it back up again.
This is
Did you see
stupid.
that shit? Holy fucking shit. Look. The Earth's not moving. Boom. Anybody want to fucking tell me that's some fucking video glitch? You want to tell me that's a video glitch? You see the astronaut moving, right? The astronaut's movement is seamless, right? So let's see this again. Astronaut's angle, the Earth is moving now. Are you fucking kidding me? I dare anybody try to fucking debunk this. I dare anyone try to debunk that shit. Two things. They said this mission was canceled. The spacewalk. These two yahoos are outside of the fucking space shuttle. And then we are forced to believe that this shit they're doing is real. Look at the Earth. The Earth fucking stopped. I need to do that fucking in slow motion, man. Hold on. I need to do that in slow motion. Let me do that
Oh,
again.
shit. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Let's change the speed. I'm gonna do it to a quarter speed. I'm gonna do it at a quarter speed. And here we go. Quarter speed. There goes the astronaut. The Earth's not moving. They release their hands. Now watch. The Earth's not moving. Is the Hubble attached to the Earth by some fucking tether? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Oh shit, dude. That's classic. I think I'll say what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead. It's all yours.
You know what? That video right there. If you were to show that to Congress, that would kill the fucking space program, dude. It would kill it because they can't explain that. They can't explain it. They can say, "Oh well, the camera, had a pause in it," or what? No bullshit. The fucking astronaut kept moving, dude. It was two different backgrounds. Look, people, I don't believe. I swear to God, when I did that video and others, I was convinced ain't nothing where they say it is. Nothing. If there is a satellite up there, you have direct TV or fucking satellite internet or a phone or some shit like that. That shit is all being transmitted from ground communications and underwater fiber optic cables. There are towers, there are transmission towers, receivers on the ground propagating those signals out on the relatively flat ground that you live on. They're bouncing off of certain towers. Can't go through mountains and shit like that because you don't have large ass, Wi-Fi towers up on mountains. So that's why sometimes you don't have cell phone service or, internet or whatever it may be. But anything they say is coming from the sky is coming from a high altitude balloon. We already proved that. But that video you just saw there, with that astronaut saying that, yeah, they launched this thing back out into space, that proved it right there. Nobody has ever debunked that video. No one has ever came back and said, no, here goes the explanation. I've got so many videos that basically, it's like Einstein. You know how they still can't prove his fucking theories, right? Well, I'm the fucking Einstein of fucking flat earth and YouTube. Because there's so much crazy shit that I had said. Like, for example, remember, John, when I had said how close the moon really was and how we judged the distance? Everybody was saying, nah, you're wrong. This is your perspective, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? They just said, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? Physicists confirmed that our moon is within our atmosphere. I had said that. I said it had to be within 3,000 miles. It ain't 258,000 miles. Because there's no way, if the moon is smaller, right, than the Earth, of course, how the hell does the temperature on the dark side of the moon, minus 240 degrees, right, the same temperature on the ISS, on the nighttime side? That's the ISS team told us. They said that the temperature outside the ISS in the sunlight is plus 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and on the nighttime side is minus 240 degrees. Well, when John and I started researching what the temperatures were on the moon that they said they recorded, it was the same exact temperature. So you tell me how something 258,000 miles away has the same temperature as something that's 240 miles away. It's impossible.
Nah, they screwed that all up.
It's logically just fucked up beliefs. Come on. Elon Musk and the director of NASA is talking about how it's just so dangerous they can't be able to take anybody to the moon. But you guys rushed that fucking job back in the late 1960s. You got 3 fucking guys you claim that you sent up there. But we got all this advanced technology now in supercomputers, and you can't even send a motherfucker on a Dragon Elon Musk space rocket to the damn ISS 240 miles. You say it's too dangerous to go back to the moon. There ain't nothing to go back there for. Then why the hell is everybody trying to go to the moon? Why is everybody so interested in going? There's nothing there. Why are you trying to go there? It's just
to prove the Earth is round and you're spinning. That's the only reason.
Their lies and their statements they made over decades is now caught up to them. They got this group of people like us who are coming out saying, whoa, wait a minute. Man, after I got over that fucking tainted Jack Daniels you gave me and started to look at things clearly, I'm realizing, shit, I need to stop drinking. This ain't the truth.
Right.
This is not the truth.
That's right. Hey, Robert. Yeah. Hey, we're going to finish it on up here. Final thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I have some super chats that I want to shout out. There's one from Dave Rakia Gafford. He says, truth matters. Jesus saves Rakia life.
Amen.
And we have another from Cleary. And he says, space should be bright with 5 billion suns propagating light forever in a vacuum.
Yep.
That's what he said.
Hey, you said Nathan wanted to talk to me, right? I guess on Discord or something like that?
We'll catch up with him a little bit later. But final thoughts, sir?
Final thoughts is, you know how I always ended everything. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You do your damnedest to prove everything you believe in. And if the proof's not there, start believing in something else.
Maybe it's not true.
Yeah, maybe it's not true.
Exactly.
You know, there's a famous saying that everyone knows. The truth is what you make it. And they have made their truth out to be our reality. And we figured out this ain't fucking reality. I just read a science paper this morning before this show about people explaining the holographic universe. What the fuck why are you talking about the universe being a hologram? Yeah, I said that shit way back when. Back in 2016, everybody's like, oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Really? The truth is what you make it.
Yep. Hey, Robert, you should come back sometimes.
No, I am. I told John I'm available whenever he wants to do shows. And, you know, we can, you know, play around and joke around and whatever have you. But we always talk about the information that's out there and keep it real with people. But again, people don't have to believe what I believe. They can call me all kinds of names and say this and say that. But what do you have to give? What do you have to give that's different from what I gave to convince me that what I'm talking about is I'm just crazy? Because that's what people were saying when I was first talking about it. This dude's lost his mind. You don't know what he's talking about. But let's see if you can get on the phone. Anybody can get on the phone and call a damn government official and start talking about the money that was spent for a program that doesn't exist. And see what happens. See what happens. See what happens.
Well, I think that you're the only one that could do it, Robert. So we're hoping that you'll get your.
I was hoping other people.
Channel.
You know what I was hoping? I was hoping that when I did that, if it didn't happen in the U.S., I was hoping that other people in other countries would call up their governments to have these conversations. But nobody's done it. Nobody wants to do it. They're afraid to either get arrested or get killed or what. And I can understand in some countries you get killed for shit like that. And if you get killed for it, hey, I'll do a martyrdom show for you. Hey, she was killed for telling the truth. And the government got rid of them.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit far out, don't you think?
I'm not looking to embarrass my government, you know. But come on, I got a son. I can't have my son growing up learning this bullshit in school. And then when he starts looking at daddy's video, daddy, wait, why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? Son, because this is the truth. So why am I in school learning something else? You know? Well, your mother wants us to have traditional. My son's gonna know when there's time for him to take science classes and they start showing him a round globe, he'll say, no, I'm sorry, but that's not the representation of the earth. Here's the representation of the earth.
Yeah, make sure that you teach him how to think.
Yeah, because if I get called into my son's school for him being disruptive, I want to know he's being called disruptive because he was telling the truth.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need to be disruptive. He just needs to have his own mind, right?
It's just one of those things to where if we could turn back time when all of us learn it back all over again, everybody on the planet would believe what we're believing right now. Everybody.
Is your son learning German, by the way, Robert? Or
no. My son is.
Are you still learning German?
Oh, I'm still learning German. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My son speaks fluent Spanish and English.
Okay.
He also watches
German
Hair in Russian, and sometimes he'll spit out some Russian words, and I'll just look at him and like, what the hell? I don't know what the hell you just said to me.
Languages.
Kids can pick up those languages, yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, we got to wrap it up, man. We could go on all day, probably all night, but I got to close up. So, Robert,
next show, I'd like to disrupt it and party crash it. Let me know.
Thanks for coming, man. Like I said, you're a true pioneer. Everyone knows it. They love your videos, and we'll catch you later. And folks, thanks for coming. Take no prisoners. No quarter will be asked, none shall be given. And remember, I'll be back.